This question is a really important case where it's necessary to correctly predict the question and know from the start that this is testing grammar. This is not about what sounds best. Personally, I think choice A sounds fine if I just read it out loud, but it's really, really wrong. And how would I know that? How would I know that what this question is testing, that it's testing grammar? Well, a couple things. Number one, even though the choices themselves do not contain punctuation, we are right up against a comma. And that's at least something that gets me thinking, like maybe punctuation matters. Also, this word which. The word which is very useful in English. It lets us combine things that are sentences. Basically, by taking one of the sentences and turning it into a fragment, a clause, just an unnecessary addition. And so that's why this isn't just about grammar. Specifically, this is about the rules regarding fragments and run-on sentences. And as it's written, this is a run-on sentence. Okay, we've got two complete sentences that are joined by only a comma. Thus, businesses can install light tubes. Period. That's a sentence. These are pipes placed in workplace roofs to capture and funnel the sunlight down into a building's interior. Period. That's a sentence too. We cannot join them with just a comma. Now, I'm gravitating towards C as it is because I know from experience that a very common way to fix a run-on, that's what this is, just to be clear, is to replace a pronoun, which is what these would be, with a word like which. Basically because it takes a pronoun which is functioning as the subject of a sentence, and it removes it. And so suddenly what once was a sentence with a subject doesn't have a subject anymore. And that's an essential thing that we need for something to be a sentence. So if we remove the subject, we remove the sentence-ness of whatever it is we're talking about. So now what we have is we have a main sentence still, but everything that comes after that, because of that word which, is now just kind of acting like an addition to that sentence. It is an extra clause, a fragment that's attached to it. And that's okay. We can use commas to attach extra things to sentences. We cannot use a comma by itself to attach two sentences together. And really all the other choices would be run-ons as well because they all have pronouns, and so that word is the problem. And so there's a commonality here between these choices. This is not easy to recognize at first because we would think if it's a punctuation question, we would see punctuation in the choices. That's usually how it goes. But this is a little bit of an exception, but it's one that you really want to pay attention to so that when you're starting to go through the problem, you can correctly predict that it's going to be about some sort of grammar rule and get your brain thinking about that instead of just what sounds best.